Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's not a not a very good morning. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. I just wanted to make a short video about Afghanistan. This is ridiculous, right? Right? Like I just want to be Mr. Obvious here. This is like extreme global warfare gaslighting. And I just want to say because I woke up like it's early in the morning, and I woke up like an hour ago and walked Pepper, got some Dr. Pepper. I wanted an energy drink, but they only had Dr. Pepper in the thing. Well, they had Coke too, but I wanted Dr. Pepper. Um, and my nervous system, like, because last night, we're targeted individuals, right? People who watch this, not everybody's probably a targeted individual that watches my videos, but um in my sleep, right? Because 24 hours a day I have directed energy weapons firing upon me, and then remote neural manipulation that can see like inside my brain, basically signals to and from the brain, but basically mind reading. But not only that, mind manipulation. And they can, I don't want to make a gross metaphor here. I kind of do. They can zone in on any little hair on my butt, right? And not that I have hair on my butt, but they can zone in on that with advanced integrated directed energy weapon systems. But we lost Afghanistan. We left Afghanistan, and now the Taliban is coming back in full control. Now, I want everybody to, how many Americans are being tortured and experimented on and watched every time you use the bathroom, anywhere you go anywhere. And we seem to, those Taliban, they slipped through our fingers, right? We had to just get out of there, right? After 20 years, right? And I'm sure it's a complicated situation to like try and bring democracy to Afghanistan, but you see, we're working on a premise that was a lie from the beginning, right? And then look at the timing. The timing, targeted individuals, people who've been fired upon by directed energy weapons, psyops, have had psyops done to them, gang stalk. The timing is everything. And you look at this timing, why just this, I'm going to say it, and it's obvious, right? We don't need, why at this moment in time with the pandemic and everything else that's going on, and citizens being tortured all around the world, why do they need to leave Afghanistan now, right? Why they need to leave? And then you see all these people in the military or ex-military, and they're on the mainstream news, and they're like, terrorism is going to get so much worse because the Taliban, the terrorism doesn't stay there, right? So another boogeyman on top of everything that everybody else had staring them down, right? And notice the year of 9/11, 9/11/2001. Notice the date that's coming up, 9/11/2021. Now, I don't know. This could be they could have shifted it a little bit, and the leaving of Afghanistan could be the 9/11, the 20th year anniversary, right? But and y'all know what I'm talking about, FFs, right? But they're done with the FFs where nobody gets hurt and they just make up a lie, right? They're doing real stuff. They're making it so real stuff will happen, and then they're using that as the FF, but real people get hurt, and then real people get hurt from that, right? But look at the date on this. The withdrawal from Afghanistan is so close to 9/11/2021. We got that coming up next month. I'm definitely not a fearmonger. We've got so many sci-fi problems just with targeting to us. It's like this giant one sci-fi problem at a time, right? Um, but how do you lose? They let a bunch of them out of jail before they left, and they're still, everybody's still retreating, but probably a lot of lives are going to be lost in that too. Um, they had 20 years there, and I'm not saying like the whole thing's based, the premise of why we're there and everything's based on a lie. So then you try and go further with any kind of treatment, and you can't get there. But I just want to say, like, 20 years, you should have at least been able to wipe out the Taliban, right? We know the advanced warfare tactics and the advanced integrated weapon systems where they are at this moment military industrial complex around the world, but America, right? I'm talking about America right now, surveilling millions and millions. We don't know how many citizens in their homes, DHS fusion centers, and every intelligence agency using all these resources and tax money to keep surveillance on citizens and keep DHS fusion centers running. And then they're going to leave Afghanistan, like they don't have any resources to take out the Taliban, right? The Taliban is a complete creation, and it's probably not just, I don't know what kind of soldiers it's made out of, but it's definitely, it's not just Muslims in Afghanistan getting together. It's a boogeyman created, right? Why do they need this boogeyman again, right? And as targeted individuals, I mean, we know, right? We've talked about this a lot. Like you can look at it in your own targeting as a microcosm. They keep hitting you with stuff. They don't want you to relax, right? When I'm relaxed, my attackers will like hack into my computer. They'll turn the V2K up. They'll do whatever they need to do to regain my attention, to try and make me scared, right? To try and make me scared. But that's what they're doing with the world. Look, the timing to withdraw from Afghanistan when there is a full-fledged pandemic, right? And there's all these problems, and it's getting worse, and they need to get everybody the vaccine, and then they're doing this. I mean, complete, and it's not like you can't say this anymore. This is what I want to really say to people, and I've been saying it for a long time, and I just don't know how, because it's a way of thinking. It's a way that human beings have thought about things for so long, but we're facing asymmetrical warfare where the withdrawal from Afghanistan could be like distraction. It could be distraction plus anniversary plus needing another boogeyman plus they need this plus they need this plus they need this plus so many angles off of it, right? And I just want to keep saying that point because timing is everything. And I think even these targeting programs, right? You had Havana syndrome come out. Who are they trying to distract, right? They're trying to give normal people a boogeyman, but are they trying to distract the rest of the military industrial complex and say, now we got this new war on terror, right? They declared patriots to be domestic terrorists, and now we need the Taliban. We need the Taliban so that we can oppress Muslims in America and have some FFs, right? That are real people that are mind controlled, right? That go out and do things, that go out and do violent things. Amazing, amazing, amazing gaslighting. Obvious. It wasn't just a random choice. It was like distraction, this. And you've got 9/11 2021 is the 20th year anniversary of 9/11 2001 coming right around the corner when this happens. Is that chance? Like, I would say there's no. I mean, it's stupid to even say. We know how many things are being done on purpose in our society. I just wanted to make a short video about it, how ridiculous it is, but it's not just gaslighting. It's like a lot of people are going to die, and they're going to use this to create a lot more death, right? Um, God's got this, but I think the good thing that we can maybe see in this is that it's so obvious at this point, right? It's bad because they're doing huge things. I mean, the top of the pyramid through their control of different countries, they're doing huge things that you know that are getting people killed, that are changing the middle class, upper class, lower classes lives in every country. Um, I was going to write some stuff down, but one of my main points is that I woke up this morning. I'm an American citizen who's committed no crimes. Like I smoked weed like a million years ago, and maybe a couple of times in the past couple of years. And I wake up because I'm tortured in my sleep. Right? The integrated directed energy weapon system surveilling me. remote neural manipulating my brain, torturing it, torturous, right? And I'm making it through it, guys. I'm making it through it. I just woke up, so when I just wake up, I'm like, oh my god, my body can't do this. And check this out. This is just one thing. Like, when I sleep, I tell you guys this is important. It's important with other defenses too, not just to do this, but you need to prop your head up, right? Because when they're working the vestibular system, when they're conducting electromagnetic fields and directed energy, it's cavitations going and creating these reactions to the brain to actually do the remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring. And so if you're like laying flat, your blood flow is going to your head, and it's gonna feel a lot worse, like what they're doing. So like last night, I was sleeping and like I slid down, right? Because I have this a pile of like pillows and blankets and stuff like that. And I'll prop my head up on it, and I'll feel a lot better when I wake up. Use Dave Case CD and everything. But I slid down off of that, and I woke up with just my upper back and my middle back, and like my head pounding a bit more than usual, right? Um, and that my point is they have resources to do that. I mean, we know it's they're making money from experimentation, and then they're kind of like, oh, well, we're also doing it for DHS fusion. We're like experimenting when we need to be experimenting. We're feeding people to DHS fusion center when we need to be feeding them to DHS fusion center. We're doing operational morbidity to try and keep a danger when it needs to be that whatever lie that people need to hear, right? They have all these advanced asymmetrical warfare options for the American people, right? That they're experimenting on, torturing, surveilling, screwing up their lives. But we just long after 20 years of being in Afghanistan, the Taliban is back. Taliban 3.0 is what people are saying. Bull crap. A lot of those soldiers are not, probably not even Afghani. They're not Taliban. It's like, I don't want to start saying like who I think some of the soldiers could be, but it's a completely manufactured boogeyman, and it's back, right? They want it back. They want that boogeyman back. There's no way, and there's no way they let a bunch of Taliban terrorists out of prison, right? They're trying to like scare the American people with another angle, and I think these are just two angles, right? Divert a lot of the intelligence agencies and military's resources to that bullshit again, right? To looking out for that kind of terrorism, and it kind of takes people's attention off of Havana syndrome, many other things, right? We're only, it's sad to know this, but the targeting and experimentation is a large angle of what they're doing in society, but it's only an angle. They play everything off, angles off of each other. Um, it's just ridiculous. I think I had something else to say, but we should know this is ridiculous, right? The really hard thing to take is some people are just going to talk about this as if it was just a stupid decision by Joe Biden. Do you think Joe Biden would have done anything like his military advisors did this for a reason? It may look like it's putting heat on them now, but it's taking heat off of them in another way, or it's doing this or it's doing that. There's no way like they just did that without knowing what would happen, right? And not creating some things happening over there by telling the American people in the world, well, this is bound to happen, and they're going to try and take over the embassy and everything like that, so that we've got a lot more chaos. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody said this from the beginning when the pandemic came out. People were learning about. I wonder if I'm gonna be able to put this video out. Huh? I don't know, because I talked about the pandemic. Can you say pandemic? Is that a word you can't say now? I'm completely lost on what is censored. It seems like the important stuff and the truth and the things that people need to know you cannot talk about. But if you want to talk about something, yeah, I mean we know this, right? You want to talk about something the way that the mainstream wants you to talk about it, then gonna get your video out there. I don't know, because I said it's hard to watch my words when I just wake up. I just wanted to say that I'm trying to think if there was anything else like obvious, right? Obvious, it's obvious gaslighting, but a lot of people are dying and are gonna die from it. And then it's like after all that, the 20 years, right? 3,000 people sacrificed to go make that, to go hurt families over there, and then 20 years later, Taliban's back and bigger than ever. We didn't we didn't hit one of them, right? We didn't get one. They're so they just slip through our fingers while they can you know, look at the tiniest little inner voice thought that I have 24 hours a day and spend copious amount of resources doing it on an American citizen that wants to help, right? Yeah, okay. They just lost. They just didn't take care of the Taliban while they were. I understand you can't make democracy. I understand like certain people's culture, they're not going to go for democracy, and you can't just like, oh, we're just going to make a nation like America. I get that, but you couldn't get the Taliban soldiers specifically assigned to the Taliban who call themselves Taliban. You couldn't route that out. You couldn't get people to, you know, to come away from those terrorist activities, which who knows? I mean, they're probably not coming. They don't have resources. Like they're saying, like anybody in Afghanistan, they have no resources to come over and do anything. Think about the surveillance state, and then talk about box cutters or whatever. If it happens again, just like there was enough surveillance back then where none of that had to occur. It was they wanted that. They created all that crap. So that they would be able to do the Patriot Act and a bunch of other stuff. You think about the state of surveillance, like they have got to worry about any kind of people in Afghanistan like herding goats and living in caves, and they maybe get their hands on some AK-47s. They got to worry about them doing terrorism in America for real, for real. You know, I'm stating the obvious, Mr. Obvious this morning. You know, I was kind of upset about this. You know, my y'all know my thing. I'm gonna get information out. The torture's pretty, eh, torture's pretty bad. It's always pretty bad. But I've got some ideas about that. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. They pull out of Afghanistan and they've got, you know, radar surveillance and integrated weapon systems looking at, we don't know, millions, tens of millions, how many Americans. Like they had to, like they wouldn't have caught every Taliban, like they wouldn't have, like they couldn't have directed energy straight to the brain of any leader in the Taliban and know exactly what they're thinking and what they're going to do and who they talk to, and then surveil those people just like they do innocent American families, right? I think this is how it happened. I don't know who was targeted first, my family, but I think it was me targeted first. Then my dad gets targeted. Then my mom gets targeted. Well, they couldn't take terrorists over in Afghanistan, get the biggest one, surveil his head, do remote neural monitoring, and then surveil everybody he's around. No, no, because the public's not supposed to know that technologies exist where you can fine tune target a hair on the ass of a horse. There's no way. There's no way that this is just some natural blunder. These blunders don't occur. Blunders don't occur. These are planned things that occur that they're pretty certain of some outcomes happening. They're not sure of everything of every variable, but then they can kind of change things with those changing variables that they didn't know. But they've got algorithms so that they pretty much know uh, pretty close to what's going to happen. Um, I don't know. I can't think real very well right now. I just woke up, but I just wanted to make a video just stating this is obvious. I think this is obvious, right? I mean, this is obvious. So close to 9/11/2021. We got all this other stuff. Why pull out of Afghanistan unless they wanted another boogeyman and to distract from a lot of things? That's only two angles out of like 50 to 100 at the top of the pyramid are thinking about how they're going to use Afghanistan in Taliban 3.0. Ridiculous. Ridiculous that there would be any Taliban left with the kind of, and we know it, you men and women watch my videos, you know the kind of advanced, integrated, directed energy weapon systems with neural weapons built in. They can see inside the brain of a human being at basic, right? Frequencies back and forth. to their weapon systems from the brain, right? And can hurt somebody, could kill somebody if they wanted. They could have shut off the hearts of every Taliban member in Afghanistan, or found all of them and kept them in a prison. Why would they release them? Like these things are so. It's like, why am I sitting here saying this right now? It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that it's like everybody should just know that is a ridiculous, purposeful thing, right? And I didn't think about that till this morning, the how close it is to 9/11/2021. And they love their numbers, they love their ones, and the 9/11 2001. I don't know what it means, like metaphysically or in whatever, but we're getting close to 9/11 2021, 20 years out from it, right? Um, and just in a month before, uh, we're getting out of Afghanistan, and Afghani Taliban terror is back. Like none of them, like none of Joe Biden's military advisors knew that they were going to be like, now terror's back in a big way, and terror doesn't stay in Afghanistan, right? I don't know. God's got it all in His hands. I mean, it's bizarrely obvious. This is bizarrely obvious, especially for people who are being hit with integrated directed energy weapons technology. To be like, oh, we didn't do anything about the Taliban when we were there. Maybe they sent some of them to Guantanamo and then just released them back in. But they want that. They want that, a place where it's really not a danger, right? I mean, Afghanistan, they're going to have Sharia law and they're going to hurt each other, and I think we should do something about that. I mean, for the women in those cultures, we have to do something about that, and that's a problem that I can't figure out and just like, oh, we just do this. That's it. That's You have to use some creativity there, but my attackers made me forget what I was going to say. But ridiculous to think that Afghanistan has resources to somehow threaten the United States with the kind of surveillance equipment, the kind of resources for intelligence agencies and the military, and they're holding down their own citizens. America is surveilling and has 24-hour a day gang stalking operations and stuff on their own innocent citizens. Like, we've got to fear some people with no technology in Afghanistan, like that would, with surveillance nowadays, that should be able to be stopped immediately. But they want people to be afraid of that, right? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous with what we're going through as targeted individuals, American citizens being tortured 24 hours a day I fight in my sleep. Like, I slid down off of the thing and I had a way worse night of sleep, right? Like I was in a lot more like pulling pain in my back and stuff like that. So I'm telling you guys, put your head up every time you go to sleep. Put your head up, because a lot of this has to do with blood. And I know you may not even understand what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of smart target individuals out there, but cavitations, how does that have anything to do, right? But it's just that if there's a lot of blood flow to your head that's naturally occurring, what they're doing is going to be intensified. What your attackers are doing is going to be intensified. Okay, I just wanted to make this short video and just say how ridiculous it is. I hope I don't get a strike for this little video because I said certain words. Um, I hope that I was general enough on that other stuff that I wouldn't get censored. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. We've got some dangerous things that we all need to talk about, and all of the very important things are censored. Like, they're censored, and then the very, very, very important things. Check this out. I'll just before I go, check this out. BitChute is awesome. If you're a targeted individual, get yourself on BitChute, make yourself a channel. Don't do it on YouTube. Do it on YouTube. Have your channel on YouTube. At least do BitChute also, because let me tell you what, I get more views on YouTube, obviously, right? Because I've had the channel for so long. But after like 3 to 4 days, those views stop. Like I'll get maybe 500, 600, 700 views in like 4 days, and then that number doesn't really go anywhere except on videos that are really getting passed around. What I mean is, like, passed around by like people sending them and sharing them and stuff like that. But YouTube, after a certain number of days, just freezes my videos. Like, and I think maybe some of you other targeted individuals or people who are talking about certain subjects, they're doing that too. BitChute, people are still watching the videos that I first put up on BitChute. They're circulating. The videos are circulating. And I was wondering because my attackers kept freezing BitChute when I'd go to upload to BitChute. My attackers don't have any control to like freeze the video or get with BitChute and make it so my videos don't circulate. My videos are going to circulate and people will just be able to keep seeing them. The views like obviously aren't as like they're not comparable to YouTube. They are comparable to YouTube, but it's less, right? On BitChute, you're gonna have a lower number. That like on YouTube, it would be like ooh, like you get 50 views on BitChute, and uh, that's like 1,000 views on YouTube or 500 views on YouTube. But my point is, BitChute's awesome. It keeps your videos in circulation. On YouTube, there's a cutoff point that I'm noticing where the videos that I made a long time ago, unless somebody comes into my channel and searches and is subscribed to it, it's not going to be in circulation on YouTube, right? BitChute has that. Um, on the off thing, not doing so good on an Odyssey channel. I've only got 3 followers. I guess a lot of people just don't want to get Odyssey, but I'm still putting my videos up there. Um, and then when I put up one of my videos, the video about Mr. Steve, right, Mr. Grogan, it like took that down immediately, and I had to put it back up, but then it stayed back up. So there's some weird stuff with Odyssey. BitChute seems to be solid. I can put anything out, and it's going to circulate, right? About targeting, about anything I want to talk about, which I'm not going to go into. BitChute's good. Like BitChute's really good. Odyssey, I think it would take a while, but I'm kind of just putting videos there in case my YouTube channel gets taken away. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch this and see if I said anything. Pandemic. That's what I'm worried about. Pandemic. But I wanted to opine about Afghanistan because they've been there 20 years. Look at the timing. Next month is 9/11/2021, right? It's ridiculous with the kind of technology they have that they're like, oh, the Taliban is stronger than ever. At the very least, we've been there for 20 years. It should be like the Taliban may resurface like in a couple of years the Taliban may resurface or a couple of months, but they're saying the Taliban's recruiting efforts are way up because America's leaving there, right? It just so happens that it's like the Taliban is more powerful than ever now, and they're taking in more recruits, and they're a real danger to America after 20 years of murdering innocent families, of the Patriot Act, now surveilling, remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulating, gang stalking me and my dad. I don't know how bad. I know my mom's being targeted by microwave weapons, but I don't know if she's vehicular stalked and gang stalked in her community. My dad is, and my dad doesn't notice. Like it's not happening, right? But they're still using all these resources to remote neural manipulate him, surveil him, vehicular stalk him. They're still using these resources, right? Because it's just about like meat in the grinder. They need some meat in the grinder. They need some brains to look at, right? And Taliban 3.0, right? They didn't mess with any of them with any technology. And you know that anybody who is a real threat over there, they could just surveil the whole group, or they could surveil all their brains, both, right? They could just radar the whole thing, watch wherever they go, hook into with directed energy anybody's brains that they're talking to, right? There's Taliban ain't back. This is a purposeful thing. This is a purposeful thing, and I know because I have integrated directed energy weapon systems used to watch everything I do and inside of my brain, right? And do certain things to my nervous system. And I'm an American who has done no crimes. So I know that they have advanced technology they will use on the most peaceful people who aren't doing anything, right? All of you men and women who watch my videos, but they're not willing to use it on the Taliban. The Taliban is just bigger and stronger than ever. And in their caves, they farm goats. They don't have a lot of new technologies over there. They're somehow a threat to America. Well, America's trouncing its own people. Like it's gotten to a ridiculous point. This is full scale spectrum dominance, asymmetrical warfare using real warfare. warfare, right? Making even the real warfare look like it was, oops, we left Afghanistan, we thought this was going to be okay. But they're creating another huge scenario to work off of and try and instill fear in us. Accept Jesus Christ into your heart today if you haven't. God is the answer. God is the answer. Because you don't have to fear. You don't have to fear when you put control into His hands. Do your best. Help people. Prepare. What is General Roy Potter? I'd really recommend Roy Potter's channel because he's a target individual. He's a man of God. He's really smart. I think that he doesn't talk about the targeting anymore a lot. A lot of the people who are more successful and get more views, they kind of stop talking about the targeting in detail. But I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't care. I'll push it. I will just push it until I can grow my channel while talking about on the head what this targeting is in detail. I cannot, because it's like you can, like, I'm not saying anything bad about people who've like kind of they talk about other issues they're targeted, and they get more views and more traction, and they can talk about a lot of other things, right? I forgot my point on that. Oh, my point is this. I've thought about it sometimes, like kind of pulling back and then go and talking about more like trending what's going on and trying to build up the channel, then coming back like maybe a couple months later and going, oh yeah, here's all the detail about me being a target individual, right? Kind of tricking people, not tricking people, but y'all know what I'm saying, like toning it down, but then bringing it back up on my channel and gotten big. But my problem is like if I this is what I'm on YouTube to talk about. So like if I'm just sitting, if I'm not talking about this, like I mean I'll talk about how other issues relate to it. It's just not even it just doesn't work, It just doesn't work. But I've seen a lot of other people do it really successfully. They talk about a lot of important issues, and then they people kind of know their target, and it kind of helps out, right? So it's just these different strokes for different folks. God using people in different ways. God putting it in people's hearts to do things differently. I mean, on YouTube to do things differently, but wow, just take YouTube out of it. What do you need to do in your life as a targeted individual? We've all got different things in our hearts, right? I love you guys. It's ridiculous. There's probably something else I want to say, but I think the timing of the timing, because the whole world's coming down, right? And we're supposed to, and I've got to make, I can't talk about it on this one. I've got to make a video just for BitChute and Odyssey, maybe just an Odyssey exclusive, eh? Just so y'all have to come to my Odyssey channel, huh? I don't think I do. I like BitChute. BitChute's like I put a video up there, and it can be about targeting. It can be about like any censored topics or anything. Nothing censored on BitChute, and the video stays in circulate. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I was like, oh, my attackers are trying to get some kind of like, they're trying to get some kind of personal control over it, right? But I don't think they can. Like BitChute, your video just keeps circulating. People they keep watching it, right? And on YouTube, it stops. And I was like, I was always like, that seems like YouTube doing that, but maybe people just, stop. It has a kind of a shelf life, and nobody. But no, they artificially cut it off so that it has to be shared by like my subscribers or people who have already seen it and stuff like that. BitChute, Circulation City, never ends, never, or it hasn't yet. Maybe my attackers can talk to somebody over there, but like BitChute's great. Your video, it's worth making some videos over there, right? Because they keep circulating. BitChute is awesome. I endorse BitChute on YouTube. My video could get censored for that on YouTube. I'm trying to just. I was saying that because that's pretty important. Like BitChute being so awesome, and if I were a targeted individual, and you're like, well, I don't want 3 or 4 channels, but I could do 2. I would say do YouTube and BitChute. Do YouTube and BitChute, and put everything, because like your YouTube channel may be taken down, and if you're a targeted individual, I'm sorry, but this happened to me, right? It is hell building up a channel. It is hell. I mean, if you're not like Michael Barden, Ella, Dr. Horton, would go on other channels. They did it very smart ways of promoting themselves on the social media sites. But for me, I'm so tired. I don't want to go on other people's channels like bigger. I don't know any bigger channels really. Maybe I do know some bigger channels. I can go on some channels that I don't really want to go on channels that have nothing to do with targeted individuals because I don't want those type of people coming in and saying we're crazy and stuff. We don't need that. It matters anymore. All right, now I'm just talking. Now I'm just randomly talking. I'm not even making sentences. I'm going it, whoop, bah, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, guys. I love y'all. I hope you have a good day. Um, I don't see anything else. If I come up with anything else that I want to say about this, so obvious this Afghanistan thing, and it's not just obvious. It's the most insane thing ever. It's the most insane thing, and I think it's like real bad. But at least it's another thing that people go, oh wow, that's a complete lie, and it's really killing a lot of people. Oh, these people talking about experimentation stuff and they're covering, the country's covering that up, they get closer to understanding, how bad this is. And then when enough good people understand how bad something is, the solutions and the probability for solutions that can actually create some kind of, a lot of miracles, probability goes up the more that average good people, intelligent good people know more about the problems in the society they live in. As a matter of fact, no, I have a couple of strategies, but I did want to talk about this and I forgot it, and it has everything to do with target. I'll just, what are we at? What time? I don't want to make them. I want to. I kind of want to get around 40 minutes at the most if I'm just putting out information. Um, oh man, I forgot. Okay. So I do see like all the chaos, right? It's gonna make this is what I was talking about, an angle of like shifting focus of the military industrial complex, right? To like, oh, we're gonna have terrorism on the border, we're gonna have terrorism from Afghanistan and a bunch of a bunch of Taliban and everything like that, and then it diverts the focus from like, oh, we need to end these torture programs, right? We need to end remote neural manipulation. We need to end cyber torture. We need to end Havana syndrome. We need to end remote microwave attack. We need to end experimentation with integrated directed energy weapon systems, with neuro weapon systems, and then we need to end that, right? And I feel like everything that's going on, it keeps making that harder and harder because people aren't going to focus on this, right? It's a tough topic to focus on, and people don't want to know anyway. And then they got all this other stuff to focus on. So I'm really, and this is just me talking. This isn't anything concrete, like I know it all. But I'm really feeling a strategy of. Have you guys ever played Dig Dug? In the arcade, Dig Dug, where you dig through the dirt, right? You make all these little areas, and it doesn't really collapse in the game. You're dig dugging through it, and then you pump up these things and you blow them up. I think everybody knows what Dig Dug is, and if you don't know what Dig Dug is, look it up. It's a great game. Dig Dug was like one of my favorite arcade games, like way back when. But my thoughts about us getting hit by these weapons, we start dig dugging it, doctors, senators, like, and I'm not just saying that, I'm gonna be trying to put some of that out, right? Of pathways that I'm gonna take, even like, bring in like telling the FBI, I've got a body camera on me, I want a meeting with y'all, but I want to get it recorded on my video camera because there's a lot of targeted, right? And we're dig dugging those individual pathways, getting the DTIs, right? Get your MRI, DTI from a neurologist that you trust the most. Even if he says there's nothing wrong or whatever, then you're going to go get a second and third opinion and you're going to be getting a DTI after that. Please, we've got to do that. It's like the best evidence. It shows concussive brain injury where there's been no baseball bat hitting you in the head. And then, stuff with lawyers and things like that I'm going to be trying, right? We've been trying for a long time. Why am I doing the hand? I do this hand, the Donald Trump hand thing. It's so comfortable. It's because I'm like, I want to tell y'all this. Hand motions are fun. But I'm thinking like because everything's so crazy, like we still need to work on activism in the big things. And the big organizations are doing that, and so many target individuals are doing so many different things. But like I'm like, we need to dug it in some of these individual situations and network it and try and crumble it in, right? So we dug in these lines everywhere, and then it'll kind of crumble in a little bit. I hope that's understandable, but from all the chaos that I'm seeing, and they're going to do one thing on top of another that's not like, hey, there's this remote microwave technology and a weapons grid, right? They're not going to say that. It's going to be all these kind of surface things down levels to keep people away from knowing about the big things that they're doing like that, right? Big things down here that they're doing, but humanity changing up here, right? And I have no fear anymore. I never had any fear. I hate that word because I'm not a fearful person. What I've experienced in this is like my attackers damaging me so much with torture, not injuring. You know, a lot of the I say my brain's injured and stuff like that. It's a lot of like pain and stuff being done to my brain, but it's not that it's just like injured. It's not, it's like a focus that's injured. It's a how your brain works and homeostasis and everything like that. So what I've experienced with stress is like very organic, right? It's not ever a choice because my spiritual choice is never to feel fear and to do the best I can and to trust in God, no matter how awful my personal situation is, right? Um, but you know, some I don't know why I made that point. I wanted to say something about that though. I want to say something about that. Oh, they want to make people afraid, right? I had a good point about that. But you know, to even with this stuff, try and be in a good place. Try and be in a place of faith and high resonance as much as we can. I'm going to be trying to make some more videos about not just little things, right? Do the little things to get your resonance up, like writing 10 things, not just 5 things. Write 10 things that you're thankful for when you wake up. Pray to God for your precious life. Do things to get that high resonance going because you'll change a lot of things for the better in the world. I do believe I do believe that part of targeting was preparing for people that were going to light up, that were going to ascend, because they were planning on doing some bad things to humanity and maybe wiping some of us out. And there is God, right? There is God, and there's a chain of command in creation. And once you get a lot of people turn into evil in the world, a lot of these good people start getting a much clearer connection, right? Some of this connection is like, I don't think the top of the pyramid understands how the connection is done from God to us. But some of it is pineal gland, organic things that you're connecting to something else, to God who created organic things so that he would be able to communicate with us. And I believe that targeting was that was one of the many angles, right? Was to get people that were not going to just be traumatized over, but were going to actually like awaken during the time, and they want to have those people targeted and held down, low resonance, so they can't change the situation, because the right kind of energy can change any situation, and that's scientific, and it's something I've learned through my life. That's why That's why our attackers. I do speak most of the time like me, because you know I know what's happening to me, and then y'all can kind of like be like, oh yeah, that's happened to me too. But like for us, oh man, they're really affecting my memory. The memory thing, and mm, memory thing's bad. But they're trying to affect our energy, right? They're trying to affect our vitality and everything like that, because there is a science to energy. When you're low resonance and your energy's bad, and I've had this, I'm not saying, oh, I'm a great energy guy, right? Bad things happen. It's harder to get things done, right? When you have high energy, you feel like you're lucky. Everything's going right, right? There's a science to the energy that our brain metabolizes, and the energy that is our human, it's like our human energy field, right? And this can change realities in a lot of ways. I usually stop from saying this stuff, but the problem is at the top of the pyramid is playing around with this science of human energy The microwave attackers, they don't know crap. They're just messing around with the brain, but it affects humanity on a greater level, like our energetic bonds, right, of all of humanity. When people are being secretly microwaved and killed, and everybody's being traumatized by fear, right? So do whatever you can to get in. And the beginning is just, I trust you, God, in the name of Jesus Christ. I trust you, God, with whatever this is, and I'll go through it, and I'll go through it with the most courage I can, the most compassion, and everything. And we may fail sometimes. I've learned that it's the Star Wars thing. Failure is the greatest teacher. Failure, the way you don't do something, is the greatest teacher. And we better get a little bit tough skin, because these are such complicated problems. When you put yourself out there, it's tough. It's a tough world, and we've got to get ourselves. I think that, and I'm not talking about my viewers, but we have a culture of, I'm just gonna, like, in almost every philosophy, it's like, this is too big, and we really should, like, I don't know. No, there's a lot of people doing stuff. I don't want to be negative. I'm not going to be negative. Positive. No matter what's happening, we always help people. Always cherish humanity. Precious lives that God has made, that we're not the boss of what their destiny holds for them. If somebody's coming at you with a baseball bat, you can defend yourself. But when there's people out there, God knows their destiny. What we should do is try and affirm life, and try and bring out anybody's potential for good, for high resonance, for loving God. Put them into God's hands, right? Um, you'll know my spiel. You'll know my spiel. This is ridiculous. This Afghanistan thing, like, it's like I should have just came on the video and gone, well, I mean, we all know this is like completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. The end of the video. Completely ridiculous. Oh, Taliban 3.0, right? When they are surveilling millions of Americans' every movement, and have vehicles driving around them like clockwork when they go out in the city, people in communities, and they just didn't get the Taliban in 20 years. Were they just so focused on torturing and killing American men, women, and children that they forgot about that? They killed a lot of innocent families over there too. Were they too busy killing a lot of innocent people and said, well, we can maybe use the Taliban later? I mean, that's bull crap, right? Because the Taliban is like an artificially produced thing, right? It's not, oh, the Taliban's building up and recruiting. It's something that Israel and America use, right? And maybe other nations, but the New World Order too. They use them as a boogeyman, but not just a boogeyman to scare, to actually like set up huge, lots of people dying events, right? Um, and they don't use the actual people; they just use the existence of the actual people. Oh, there's some terrorists in Afghanistan, and then they do the thing, right? They do the thing. They do the thing. I really got to shave. Sorry about the grossness of my shaving, not shaving. But I will shave. Okay, so we're probably getting to an hour, and I just wanted to kind of opine about Afghanistan. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Just prepare. What is? I was gonna say. Roy Potter. He says prepare, pray. He has a PP. It's like PPSS. I can't remember the S's. I love Roy Potter. He's an honest man. He's a lieutenant colonel in the army. Check out his. I think it's like Colonel Roy Potter on YouTube. And he's just a good, godly man, and he sees a bigger military picture. Um, I can tell that he doesn't complain about it. Like, I feel like, well, the targeting I think is really hurting a lot. Um, he gets through it. He's a strong guy. We're strong people. God made us of strong stuff. That the top of the pyramid, the microwave people, and the gangs, they're trying to play around with it, right? They're trying to play around with it. The only thing that I kind of worry about is the top of the pyramid knowing a lot about resonance and energy, right? Um, and how that can affect the whole human population. But like I said, I'm not. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It's like God gave me that I mean, everybody's seen Jurassic Park, but the birds at the end flying away, because I was like, man, humanity could end, and that was one of my biggest like, what are we doing? Like humanity could end. Like why, with these transhumanistic things and genocides, like tailor-made pandemics, right? Um, I wonder if my video will get censored for that. But okay, that's it, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Just wanted to kind of talk about that, how ridiculous it is, and who knows what they're gonna. And I just hope, yeah, 9/11 2021, and they love their numbers, you know.